Hello everyone. Let's continue the good stuff we've been doing. Today let's look solve this very interesting problem. It talks about the actual distance of a map. You know that in maps, when you draw a map, see this is a map. If you locate two towns together, let's say this is town A and this is town B. Now these two towns, the distance here between them, they may write it as 70 kilometers. But in reality, this town A might be here and then town B might be somewhere very far. It may even be a different country. So this distance here is actually 70 kilometers in real life, but on paper it may be 3 meter or so. It may be 3 meter. So they use a scaling. If you want to draw map, let's say you have a town that is this town A to town, the distance between A and B is maybe 70 kilometers. You cannot draw this on paper with the actual distance because that would consume too much. No, that would not even be possible. In that case, if you are trying to draw the towns on paper with actual distance, that means the map of any state can cover the state completely, which is not even realistic. So we use a scale. We may say, okay, let's 70 kilometers. Let us use 5 centimeters to represent it, so that when we measure on a map with a ruler, if we get 5 centimeters, let me show you what I mean. If you have your ruler here, you say you have your ruler and maybe you measure from, say, a point, say this point, from this point here to this point here, and let's say we have measured 5 centimeters. This will represent this point A. Now this will represent distance between A and distance between B. So distance between A and B, I mean. So it's just like scaling the figure. Like instead of drawing the actual 70 kilometers, we reduce it to something simpler, something shorter, so that it can fit on paper. That is what this problem actually says. So let's look at it and read it out loud while I clean it. So it says that the actual distance between, see, the actual distance of 56 kilometers between two times is represented by 7/8 centimeter on a map. So we have a particular map, and 7/8 centimeter represents 56 kilometers on the map. So let's see. On our map, 7/8 centimeter is equals to 56 kilometers on a particular map. Let's write a solution here. 7/8 centimeters is actually equals to 56 kilometers on that map. Now they're asking us, what is the actual distance represented by, this is 8 times 1, 8 plus 1. It represents a 9/8 centimeter. What distance does it represent? What kilometer? X kilometer. That is, what is X here? What does 9/8 centimeter represent? Say you have a paper here, and in that paper, you have to represent several town A to town B using this 56 kilometer distance. This line here, in measurement ruler, in ruler measurement, it is 7/8 centimeters. So what will, if we have a ruler here that actually equals 9/8 centimeters, 9/8 centimeters, what distance will it represent? Will it be 70 kilometer? Will it be 60 kilometer? Or will it be 10 kilometer? What distance will it represent for us? That is what the question is asking us. So let's see how we can do with this. So let me wipe off the board and I will go through it. Oh, I've wiped out the main problem, no worry. So let's see. These ones I have to delete them. They are images. So I'll use a different color of pen. Let's say green. Let's see, they take this blue color. Okay, so let's continue with the good stuff. Now, because 7/8 centimeters, 7/8 centimeters is equals to 56 kilometers. Let us find what 1 centimeter will equal before we find 9/8. Let's first of all find 1, and let me write our solution. So multiply both sides by 8, you get 8 times 7 over 8 centimeter equals to 8 times 56 kilometer. So 8 cancel out, so 7 centimeter is 8 times 56 kilometers. Now we need 1 centimeter, so we're dividing both sides by 7. We're dividing both sides by 7. So sorry about, let me take a straight line rule. So I will wipe this 9 over 8 here as to for continuity purpose. Okay, so we have 7 excuse, so wow. So let's manage this rule. So that is when 7 cancel out 7, 1 centimeter would equal 8 times 56 over 7 centimeter. Now I did not do 8 times 56 because I needed to cancel something out. Let's say 7 here is 1, 7 into 56, where 7 times 7 is 49, and that is 7 times 8 is 56. So 7 here is 8 times. Now 8 times 8 is 64. So 1 centimeter actually represents 64 centimeter on the, sorry, not actually centimeter. 1 centimeter actually represents 64 kilometer on the map. So we have found what 1 centimeter represents. Okay, 1 centimeter represents 64 kilometers on the map. So, but we need 9 over 8. So what is 9 over 8? What about 9 over 8? Well, since 1 centimeter is equal to 64 kilometers, this is easy. What we will have here is this. Let's go here. 9 over 8 centimeter will be 9 over 8 times 64 kilometers, and therefore 9 over 8 centimeter would be equal to, now here 8 here is 1, 8 into 64, of course 64 is 8 times 6, so this is 8, so this is 9 times 8 kilometers, and 9 times 8 is 72 kilometers. So the one number 1 over 8 centimeter is actually equal to 72 kilometer on that very map. So let's go through the next, let's go through what we did. We are given some the question here about scaling here. We already explained enough in the problem, whereby we let this be this, and then we found 1 centimeter, and then from that 1 centimeter we got 1 over 8 centimeters. So let's check and see what the next problem has to offer us. Here we are told that a woman had 150 apples, and then she gave half of it to her first child, and 3/5 of the remainder to her second child. Now we're asked how many apples has she left. Now let's write down our solution. Let's see what we can do here. So she had 150 apples here. So total apples she had is 150, and she gave half to her first child. So this means that her first child received an amount equal to half of what she have, half of one, no, this is half of 150, but of course off should tell us it's times, so half times 150, this is 150 over 2, and this is equals to 75. So the first child got 75 mangoes, apples, sorry, it was apple they were sharing, and 3/5 of the remainder to her second child. Now this one is quite tricky, because if you're not careful you want to do 3 over 5 of 150 to get 3 over 5 times 150, but not really. It is said 3/5 of the remainder, so we have to be careful whenever we solve word problems, because if you misunderstand the problem you may not get a correct solution. So the remainder here is the remaining apple she has. So having given 75 apple to her first child, having given 75 apples to her first child, her remainder should be 150 minus 75, which is just 75 as well. So it is from this 75 apple that she have that she gave to the second child, not from the 150, because 150 is not there anymore. The first child has already claimed her own part of the share. So rather, what we should expect is that for the second child, for the second child, what you should expect here for the second child, for the second child, what you should expect here is that she received 3/5, 3 over 5 of 75. Sorry, of 75. So this is 3 over 5 times 75. Of course, this is 5 years one. 5 into 75 is let's say 5 year 75. So 1 will be here, and then 5 and 2 5. So it's 15. So this is equals to 3 times 15, which is 45. So this means that the second child received 45 apples. Now the problem asks us that how many apples does she have left? Well, this is what happened. What happened is that she had initially, she had 150. Let me get black color for us. She had 150 apples, but I put it in black. Okay. So she had 150 apples initially. And then these 150 apples, what happened is that 75 was given to her first child, and then 45 was given to the second child. So the second child to the first child. So now we are asked to how many will remain. Well, that means she has given out, let's add the amount she gave out. This is 10, this is 8 plus 2, this is 12. So she had 150 apples, but then she gave out 120 giving out. 120 was given out to others, giving out. She gave out 120. So she have a remaining of 150 minus 120, which is 30 mangoes. So 30 mangoes is what she will have left with her. She will have 30 mangoes left with her. So a very nice problem. Let's see what the next one has to offer us. Well, this one here is telling us that to do a journey in 6 hours. So to do a journey in 6 hours, this is the time given to us. A man drove his car at a speed of 35 kilometers per hour. So solution. Mostly I always write the solution before even reading the problem completely. So we are given time is 6 hours. And then the speed is 35 kilometers per hour. So what should his speed be if he wanted to do the journey in 7 hours? So we are given that a man drove a car. A man drove a car. It took him 6 hours from this point A to this point B. It took him 6 hours to get to this point now. And the speed he was running with was 35 kilometers per hour. But we don't know the distance he covered, the man. We don't really know the distance he covered. Just that they told you that we are given that he covered this particular distance using this particular speed and with this particular time interval. Now we are being asked that what if he's using the same speed? Okay, what if he wanted to do journey? If you do the journey in 7 hours, like 7 hours, took him, this is 6 hours. Now for 7 hours now, if you wanted to do the journey in 7 hours now, from this point A still to this point B, the same distance, so, and using the same car, what speed will he run? Maybe he just doesn't want to be too early for the place he's going to. He wants to delay. So what speed do you think he should run with? Well, first you have to notice is that this particular distance does not change. Like the distance covered does not change. So what we'll do is to remember our formula for speed and time and distance. Speed Speed is equal to the distance covered all over time taken to cover that distance all over time. So let us try to find the distance this man covered first. Well, we know the speed initially. His speed was 35. So 35 kilometer per hour. I will not write the unit first. Is equals to the distance is unknown. Let's just call it x. Let's call it x. All over the time. What time did it take him to cover the distance? 6. So here now, what we should have here is that we have that 35, which is speed, is equals to the distance, which is x, all over time. So x, oh sorry, and time was given to us as 6. Time was given to us as 6. So multiply this by 6 and 6 times this. So when 6 cancel out 6, the time x will be equals to 6 times 35. I will not multiply this out first because I'll need it later on probably. So this is the distance the man traveled. 6 times 35 kilometers was the distance he traveled there. And then now, what is the speed going to be now? If he still travel the same distance of 6 times 35 kilometer, but now 7 hours, well, this speed will be the distance he traveled, which is 6 times 35 kilometer, all divided by the 7 hours he is doing the journey. Here we can see that 7 year is 1, 7 year is 5. That is why I don't usually cancel out whenever I'm multiplying. I don't usually multiply it completely because I know I will cancel out somewhere also if I don't do calculator. So this is equals to 6 times 5 is 30. So this is 30 kilometer per hour. So you see that for him, if he wants to do the distance in 7 hours, he has to run with his speed equal to 30 kilometers per hour. A very nice problem that illustrates some concept in physics. Now let's see what the next one has to offer us. So for this problem here, we are given that the length of a rectangular garden. So let's draw some diagram. So we have a rectangular garden here. No, that is a parallelogram. Let's see. I think this should do now. Yeah. So we have a rectangular garden. The length is equals to 25 cm. So this is 25 cm. And its area, this part here is equals to 125. So area is 1.25 centimeter all squared. So what is the perimeter in centimeters? Wow. So the perimeter in centimeters. Well, not too difficult a question. Let's see how we do this. Yeah. So yeah, the perimeter is actually, if you have any figure here, any figure that has straight lines at the edges this way. Let's say this is 2, this is 3, 4. Of course, not realistic labeling, but and 6. So if you add the sum of the sides, 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 6 plus 5. This 7 plus 2, 9 plus 5, 14 plus 6 is 20. This 20 centimeter you have will be the perimeter. That is, perimeter is sum of sides. So perimeter is sum of the side. Sum of sides. So in this problem here, they are asking us to sum the size of this figure, this rectangle here. We have to find the whole side and take the sum. But let me wipe this out first before we continue. Okay. Let me take this one out. So perimeter, they're asking us for the sum of the sides. Like this side here, we have to find this side, find this side, find this side, and find this side. But then we don't really have to suffer like that, since if we this here is 25, here as well is 25. So of course we have gotten one cheap answer. Now for this case here, now we don't know this part, so let's call it x, just like mathematicians do. and here is x, because in a rectangle the opposite sides are equal. Now what do we know about the area? We know that the area of a rectangle is given by the length multiplied by the width. Okay, now what is the length and what is the width here? This is the length here, which is 25. What's the width? The width is x, unknown. So but the area is equals to 1.25. So we have that 25x will be equals to 1.25. That is one thing we have for sure. Now how do we find x from this equation? Very easy. All we had to do is divide both sides by 25. So 25x equals to 1.25. If you don't have calculator, you may still do this as 25x is equals to 125, all divided by 100. So when you divide both sides by 25, and then here you have to divide both sides by 25 as well, like 1 over 25. It's like multiplying by 1 over 25, so that x cancel out x. Then 25 cancel out 25. The x will be here. 25 here is 1. Oh no, that is not a cancellation. Microsoft. 25 here is 1, and 25 here is 3. No, 25 here is 5. It's 25 times 5. That is 125. So what you have is 5 over 100, and this is just 0.05. So the distance of this side here, this x here is 0.05. So this is 0.05. So we can actually reimagine our figure. We are going to reimagine our figure. That's a good language. So our figure has been reimagined. I know Microsoft will correct it for me. So here we have 0.05, and here we have 0.05, and then you have 25. This is actually unrealistic. Like, it should be something like this. Yeah, then we have something like this. That is how the figure should be. Since no, not actually a cutlass. Like the main figure should take this shape. Should like this side should be very small. Then so this is how it should be. Since this side is small, but let's just add it. We don't really care about the figure. All we care about is that let us be correct. So we have to add 25 plus 25, but that is 25 times 2. That is 25 times 2 plus 0.05 multiplied by 2. Okay, so that is this is 50. Now this multiplication is actually not that difficult to work out. This is like 5 over 100. No, sorry, that's not a 5. Multiplied by 2. So this is 10 over 100. So 1 year. So this is 1 over 10. So this is 50 plus 0.1. 1 over 10 is 0.1. So this is 50.1 as the perimeter. I hope there's no mistake. So that is 10 over 100. That is 1 over 10. That is 0.1. Yeah. So 50.01. So a very nice problem. Let's see what the next one has to tell us. This one here says that we are asked to divide 50 naira between two persons, A and B, in the ratio 2:3. And they asked us to find A's share. So a lot of things were asked to do here. We're going to just do it gradually. Let's say you are giving 100 naira first of all, and you have to divide it between two people in the ratio 2:3. What they mean is that if this A here, if A got 40, B should get, like, let me give a simpler ratio here. Let's leave this 2:3 first for here. Let me not say something I don't know. So this is, let's say we divide in 1:5. What this ratio means that if A got something like 10, B should be getting, so this is A and this is B. B should get 5 times this amount, so B should get 50. So when they give you something and say, okay, divide this in the ratio 1:2 between two persons, A and B, they are telling you that if this person gets 5, B is to get 10. Yeah, B is to get 10. So what this thing actually means is that if you have, say, as I give you 100 naira and I ask to share them in the ratio, sorry, 1 is to 5 between A and B. The way you can share this, the way we usually share this ratio, we used to solve the problem. Usually what we do is to add this ratio, 1 plus 5. So when you add them, you get 6. Okay, so like, or maybe not really add for now. Let's see, not really add for now. Let's say, for example, I give you 100 naira. I give you 100 naira and I ask to share between two persons in the ratio 1 is to 5. Well, the way you can share this is that, is you see that if assuming that A got 20 naira, B should be getting, let's say, like, B should be getting 5 times 20, which is 100 naira. B should be getting 100 naira. So if A got 20 naira, B should be getting 100 naira. But it's not too easy to share this thing, because here now this amount is 120 naira they have shared, but this is 100 naira. So what you usually do if you want to share the money, for now, just add the two values together. Add the two values of the ratio, 1 is to 5. So 1 plus 5 is 6. So what means that if the money is 100 naira, A should get 1/6 of it, 1/6 of 100 naira, and then B should get 5/6 of 100 naira. Now the reason why we do this is that when we add them together, the amount they get, it should equal 100 naira. Let me show you what I mean. If you rush now and say, okay, I'm to divide amount between A and B, between A and B in the ratio 1 is to 5, and you're giving 100 naira, you must say, okay, let me give A 20 naira so that B will receive 100 naira. But then when you add them together, it means you are sharing 120, okay, and not 100 naira. So it's actually not too easy to divide this money. The best way is to just add this value 1 and 5, and then A share will be 1/6 and B share will be 5/6 of the money. Because when you add 1/6 and 5/6, 1/6 plus 5/6, you should get 1. So this case here now, you shared one thing between them. That is why we usually add 1 plus 5 there. So what we'll do now is to use this our newfound skill to solve this problem. Let me wipe it out so we don't miss the main statement of problem. I've already used this part for explanation only. Okay, if you want to really know what it means, you can still rewind the video and copy it out. For now, we just need to explain the concept. Let me take this out. So let's come back now. So A's share, no, let's see, A's share would have to be 1/6. No, okay, this is a different problem actually. Let's see. Okay, now the ratio is 2 is to 3. 2 is to 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So 2 plus 3 is 5. So A's share will be 2/5. 2/5 of 100 naira. And which is 2/5 times 100 naira. So 5 here, 1, 5 here is I think 20, yeah. So if I multiply 2 times 20, you get 40. So you get 40. So H share should be 40 naira. H share is 40 naira. That is how we do. If you have to find B share, it's 3/5 times the. No, it's actually 50 naira. Oh, okay, 50 naira. Not really 100 naira. Sorry about that. Okay, the question says 50 naira here. So, but it doesn't really matter. If it's 50 naira, it should be 20. For 50 naira, it should be 2 over 5 times 50, and then 5 here is 1, 5 here is 10. So that should be 20 naira, which is half of 20 naira, which is half of the 14 naira. Doesn't really matter whether I write 200 naira or 50 naira, since I'm not sitting for an exam. But if I sit for an exam, you should be very careful not to write, see a 50 naira and consider it 100 naira. I don't know what I'll call that one, but mistakes are made. So let's see what the next problem has to say. Here, we are told that Amuda has she has 65 pencils, and Ngozi has 23 pencils. And how many should Amuda give Ngozi so that they have equal number of pencils? This should be half. So that they have equal number of pencils. The way to do this is to see. Let's see solution. So I have 65 pencils, and you have 23 pencils. So how many should I give you? So how many can A give B so that they can have equal? Well, let's see how many pencils I have more than you. So let's see what 65 divided minus 23 will say. This is 2, this is 4. I think, yeah. So I have 42 pencils more than you. So let me say now. So that means if my own 23 pencils will be here, and your 23 pencils will be here, and I have extra 42 more than you. For us to have the same amount, we have to divide this one and have more than you into 2. So 42 divided by 2 should give us 21. So we are going to share these 21 pencils. So in this case, Ngozi has this person here has to give this person 21 pencil so that they can have equal pencil. So of course, answer here is 21. I didn't really stay to waste time because I know the problem is somehow simple. But if you don't really find it simple, just look at it. You have 65 pencil, and this, let's take a different color. Wait. Okay, let's use green. So you have 65 pencil, and this person here has 23. So yeah, and you ask, what number of pencil will you give this person so that both of you have the same number? Well, we have to find out how many pencils you have more than this person in the first place, and we got 42. Now this excess you have, if you divide into 2, so if we give 21 to Ngozi here and 21 to this person here, we should at least be able to get both sides having equal number of pencils. Mostly the other way you can solve this is probably to add 65 and 23 to know how many pencils are into that. This is 8 and this is 8, and then this 8 they have in total. You may not divide it into two parts. So this is 44 parts. So you now have to do 65 minus 44. I think you get 1 and 2 here. You still get 21. So you get 21 pencil. But not really, don't bother with that method. This one is clear enough, and there's no, but you may look at that solution if you want to. So that is the end of the video. We have solved 6 problems so far in this video. If you like my content, please subscribe to my channel and give me some like. Thank you very much for your time. Have a nice day.